Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my talk on ADHD and nutrition. I am Kristen McDow. I'm a registered holistic nutritionist, and I'm an alumni with NutraPhoria's Tier 2 program of advanced holistic nutrition. I am deeply passionate about the understanding of the intricate relationship between food, mind, and overall well-being, especially when it comes to ADHD. I am also a mom to an ADHDer, which is my biggest why behind my passion of going into the field of nutrition and looking into, like I said, that relationship between ADHD. So the purpose of my talk is to really just to lay out the connection between ADHD, its symptoms, and eating behavior, and how they are incredibly vital to managing ADHD, and how they can not only dramatically affect and benefit the person living with ADHD, but set the stage for a healthy family. So I want to start off talking about ADHD and the brain. So what is ADHD and why is it so important? So ADHD is a neurodevelopmental disorder that affects a person's ability to focus, control impulse, and manage energy levels. It's so commonly diagnosed in children, but it is becoming more diagnosed in adulthood and especially more in women. So people with ADHD often struggle with staying on task, time management, and may act impulsively without considering the consequences. And symptoms can vary, but they do affect school, work, relationships, and social life. What I absolutely love about nutrition is that it plays such a crucial role in managing ADHD because certain foods and dietary patterns can influence brain function and behavior. So let's get into why nutrition is particularly important for individuals with ADHD. So the brain requires specific nutrients to function. Deficiencies in essential nutrients like omega-3 fatty acids, magnesium, zinc, and iron have all been linked to worsening symptoms of ADHD. So ensuring an adequate intake of these nutrients can help support cognitive function and mood and energy levels. So by not consuming enough foods with these nutrients, this can look like excessive fidgeting, coordination problems, learning difficulties, asthma, excessive thirst, dry skin, and eczema. The good news is once the nutritional deficiency is identified, it can be corrected. ADHD is also closely linked to neurotransmitter imbalances in the brain. So key neurotransmitters such as dopamine and norepinephrine play a significant role in regulating attention, impulse control, and mood. In those with ADHD, these are often dysregulated. So dopamine, for example, which is crucial for the brain's reward system, is crucial for the brain's reward system, motivation and learning tends to be lower in those people with ADHD. And this can look like impaired focus, motivation, inattention, and hyperactivity. Norepinephrine is involved in alertness and maintaining attention. Norepinephrine works with dopamine in the brain, and then those with ADHD, it can look like lower attention, especially during challenging and prolonged tasks. It can affect the stress response and behavioral control, like managing impulse. What is really fascinating is there are ways that we can actually increase our neurotransmitter function naturally through quality nutrition. So let's get into what those are. A diet that is rich in nutrient-dense whole foods such as fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains, and healthy fats provides essential vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants necessary for optimal brain function and overall health. Whereas a diet that is high in processed foods, sugars, and unhealthy fats may contribute to inflammation, oxidative stress, and worsen ADHD symptoms. Let's deep dive into this a little bit more. I just lost my train of thought there. So protein provides amino acids like tyrosine and tryptophan, which are precursors to dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin, those neurotransmitters that I was just talking about. So you can get this in things like eggs, chicken, turkey, lean meats, soy products, legumes, beans, lentils, and in nuts and seeds. So omega-3 fatty acids are essential for brain function and the regulation of neurotransmitters, including dopamine and norepinephrine. Fun fact, our brain is actually made of 65% fat, so all the more reason to want to feed your brain healthy fats. So you can get this in sources like fatty fish, like salmon, sardines, and mackerel, avocados, flax seeds, hemp seeds, chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, and algae-based supplements. The next one I want to talk to you about is micronutrients. So vitamins and minerals are crucial for those with ADHD for mood, behavior, learning, focus, and so many other symptoms. Here are just a few examples. So zinc enhances dopamine production in the brain, which, as we learned, has that significant role in ADHD. So you can get this from things like lean meats and beans. The other one is iron. So iron supports attention and focus. You can get iron in foods like lean red meat, spinach, and other vegetables. Magnesium. So magnesium helps to regulate hyperactivity, impulsivity, mood, and anxiety. You can naturally get magnesium in things like leafy greens, nuts and seeds, whole grains, and bananas. And then antioxidants. So oxidative stress can reduce dopamine levels. Oxidant-rich foods protect brain cells from oxidative damage, which can help maintain healthy neurotransmitters. You want to find this in things like berries, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, leafy greens like spinach and kale, nuts, seeds, and dark chocolate. So I also want to talk to you a little bit about B vitamins and their special role. So B vitamins are critical for neurotransmitter production and brain health. Specifically vitamins B6, B9, which is folate, and B12. So these are particularly important as they play a big role in managing stable moods. So you want to get these from things like whole grains, dark leafy greens, eggs, fish, poultries, nuts and seeds, and legumes as well. Take a little water break there. Now I want to switch gears to blood sugar regulation and ADHD. So why is blood sugar regulation so important with those with ADHD in particular? Blood sugar regulation plays a crucial role in managing ADHD as fluctuations in the brain, fluctuations as blood glucose levels can significantly impact brain function, mood, and behavior. So the brain relies on a steady supply of glucose, which is sugar, for energy, and any significant dip or spike in blood sugar can disrupt cognitive function, affecting focus, attention, and impulse control. What this looks like is during the day, going all morning without eating or skipping lunch, and then finding yourself grabbing those quick, refined carbs for that easy dopamine boost, only to leave you feeling irritable, have brain fog, and lack of focus within the hour. For individuals with ADHD who already face challenges in these areas due to the neurotransmitter imbalances, maintaining stable blood sugar levels is absolutely important. So hypoglycemia, which is low blood sugar, can pose significant risk for those with ADHD. So as I mentioned, when blood sugar levels drop in the brain function can become impaired, so leading to a lack of focus, concentration, executive function, and behavioral issues. Hyperglycemia, which is elevated blood sugar, disrupts neurotransmitter balance. These fluctuations can worsen ADHD symptoms such as inattention, impulsivity, and hyperactivity. Additionally, hyperglycemia can actually cause fatigue, irritability, and difficulty concentrating, all of which may exaggerate ADHD-related challenges. So to balance your blood sugar levels, you want to ensure that you are eating every 2 to 3 hours to prevent a crash in that blood sugar. And in each snack and meal, you want to include a healthy omega-3 fat, a protein source, at least 10 to 20 grams worth, and a source of fiber from fruits, vegetables, or whole grains. So now we've talked about what nutrient-dense foods to include in your diet. Now let's talk about what to not include. So leading the charge, of course, is going to be sugar and processed foods. So The increase in eating refined foods and sugars is wreaking havoc with our physical and our mental health. And while many of us recognize that these are bad for our physical bodies, the effects on brain function are often overlooked. Sugar can be problematic for people with ADHD due to its impact on those energy levels, mood, and brain function. So here are a few ways that sugar can affect someone with ADHD in particular. Number 1, consuming sugar triggers that short-term release of dopamine, providing that temporary boost in mood and energy. However, like this quick rise and fall, like that blood sugar regulation that I was talking to you about just now, can make it harder for individuals with ADHD to regulate attention and behavior over time. So these energy spikes and crashes can affect mood, irritability, concentration, hyperactivity, and focus. Sugar not only affects our brain function, but it also affects our gut health, which I go into the importance of this further in my online course. Okay, the next one is artificial additives. So some people with ADHD are sensitive to artificial colors, flavors, and preservatives, which may worsen hyperactivity and inattention. A study came out recently stating that 89% of people with ADHD reacted negatively to food colorings, 72% to flavorings, 60% to MSG, which is a food enhancer chemical, 45% to synthetic additives, 50% to cow's milk, and 60% to chocolate. So identifying and avoiding these triggering foods can help alleviate symptoms and improve overall well-being, and these are hidden in so many foods. The next one that I want to talk to you about is caffeine. So caffeine can have mixed effects on people with ADHD, and while it may offer some benefits, it can also cause negative outcomes for several reasons. So since caffeine is a stimulant, it can make some people a little bit more jittery. It can increase anxiety, which those with ADHD are more at risk of. It can also disrupt sleep patterns and your circadian rhythm. So similar to sugar, caffeine provides that quick, short-term boost in energy and focus, but it can lead to a crash when those effects wear off. So while caffeine can help people with ADHD focus, too much can actually cause overstimulation, and not to mention it can also impact ADHD medication. The next one is dairy and gluten. So dairy and gluten may negatively impact individuals with ADHD, particularly those who have sensitivities and intolerances to these foods. So while not everyone with ADHD are affected by dairy and gluten, some individuals experience worsening symptoms when consuming these foods. This is because they are inflammatory and can disrupt neurotransmitter function and gut health. They can displace the good and the bad gut bacteria, worsening those ADHD symptoms. So those with ADHD are more at risk for having a gluten sensitivity, which can make behavioral issues, brain fog, fatigue, hyperactivity, and irritability even worse. But the good news is your diet is modifiable, which means that the discomfort of these food intolerances and allergies can be alleviated and may actually improve behavior you didn't realize was a result of these intolerances or allergies. So now we've talked about what to eat and what not to eat. Now let's talk about how we can implement these strategies. So step 1 is to plan your menu. Choose simple, balanced meals that you enjoy. So try and keep this between 30 to 45 minutes of prep and cook time for the simplicity and the longevity of this new routine. Make a grocery list based on your meal plan to avoid multiple trips to the store. Step 2, you want to set up your space. So clean and organize your kitchen before even getting started. Next, you want to lay out all the equipment that you're going to be using, such as like your measuring spoons, your cutting board, your knives, and all the ingredients. Step 3, you want to cook in batches. So start with the items that take the longest, such as roasting vegetables or cooking grains. Next, you want to multitask by chopping up vegetables while the other items are cooking. Step 4, you want to portion and store. So use glass containers for easy reheating. Label the containers with the meal name and the date, and then store your meals in the fridge or the freezer for later use. Let's talk about the tips for now staying consistent, because with ADHD, we know that this is the hard part. So keep it simple. Choose recipes with minimal ingredients and steps. 2, you want to use alarms and reminders, especially if hyperfocusing is an issue. So you want to set alarms or reminders to eat. Make it fun. Listen to a podcast, listen to music while you're prepping your meal. Use shortcuts. So buy pre-chopped vegetables, frozen fruits, frozen vegetables, and instant grains to save time. And automate. So automate that grocery shopping. If you are someone who hates going grocery shopping and you hate going into the stores, use those delivery services and use pre-made shopping lists. Next is adapting the plan. So customize the recipe, adjust the portion sizes, switch out proteins, or use different grains and vegetables based on your preferences. Make sure that you're being flexible with it. So allow for those quick, no prep meals like sandwiches or smoothies when needed. And involve support. So if possible, involve that family or friend support in meal prep and cooking to help keep you accountable and for that extra help. I also want to chat briefly about women's hormones, particularly estrogen and progesterone, as they have a significant impact on ADHD symptoms due to that influence on the brain chemistry and neurotransmitter function. So throughout a woman's life, fluctuations in these hormones like pregnancy, menstrual cycles, postpartum, perimenopause, and menopause can directly affect the severity of ADHD symptoms. So let me explain what happens here. Estrogen is known to enhance the production and availability of neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, which are crucial, if you remember, for that focus, mood regulation, and attention. So when estrogen is high, such as the first half of your cycle called the follicular phase, many women with ADHD experience improved cognitive function, better mood, heightened focus. On the other hand, when estrogen levels drop in the second half of your menstrual cycle, in the luteal phase, ADHD symptoms such as brain fog, impulsivity, mood swings, and inattention can become more pronounced. Progesterone, on the other hand, which rises in the second half of your menstrual cycle, being that luteal phase, has a calming effect on the brain, but it also tends to reduce the availability of dopamine. So for women with ADHD, this drop in dopamine can lead to worsened symptoms of inattention, low motivation, depression, and sluggishness. Progesterone may also contribute to PMS, further worsening those emotional dysregulation and ADHD symptoms, such as irritability and difficulty concentrating. Now, as a woman who approaches perimenopause and menopause, estrogen levels naturally decline. This can lead to a significant worsening of ADHD symptoms such as memory problems, reduced focus, and mood changes. Lower estrogen means less support for dopamine and serotonin production, making ADHD symptoms a lot harder to manage. So how can we support our hormones during these phases of our cycles and these hormonal fluctuations and transitions? By consuming nutrient-dense whole foods. So what does this look like? This looks like consuming phytoestrogens, which you can get from nuts and seeds and fruits and vegetables. Those omega-3 fatty acids like avocados, flax seeds, chia seeds, hemp seeds, and salmon. Cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli, kale, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. Next is protein-rich food. So you want to be getting this from lean meats, eggs, fish, nuts and seeds, and legumes. And anti-inflammatory foods such as olive oil, coconut oil, fish, berries, and vegetables, as well as maintaining a rock-steady blood sugar balance. So if today's presentation was interesting to you, I am launching a 6-week online course called Mindful Eating for ADHD that starts on October the 18th. And I just want to talk about this a little bit here. So this is a hybrid course, which means that 3 weeks will be a self-paced online video that deep dive into specific topics. You will also have worksheets that help keep you accountable and to help digest that information into practical steps that will soon become a new routine. The other 3 weeks are going to be live group coaching calls with me, where you have the opportunity to ask me questions and get real-time answers to help implement these new changes. I will also be teaching new vital information in these sessions as well. So if you are not able to make it live during this, I will be recording these lessons and will upload them to the platform. So I do want to talk to you about what we will be talking about in the course on a week-by-week basis. So week 1, we will be discussing ADHD and its effect on the brain and the importance of blood sugar regulation and going much deeper into that topic. Week 2 is going to be the first live coaching call. I will also be going into the importance and understanding sleep, exercise, and how to mindfully eat for ADHD. Week 3 will be what we eat and why it matters. So this week we are going to be deep diving into food allergies, sensitivities, and balanced nutrition for success. Week 4 is the second live coaching call, and we will be discussing easy and simple meal planning tips and tricks, how to grocery shop like an ADHDer, building sustainable habits, and implementing these goals. Week 5 will be more connections at work. So this week we are going to be discussing the gut-brain axis, as well as the hormonal connection to ADHD. And in week 6 is the last live coaching call. Here we are going to be reviewing the key takeaways of the course, where to find other resources for support, and supplements for success. So once again, thank you so much for joining me this morning or this afternoon, wherever you are. And if you have any questions, please ask me. My Instagram handle is abundantly.nourish. And this is one of the areas, like I said, that I'm super passionate about. And I think just needs to be highlighted a lot more in the nutrition space. So if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, I also do that. And just drop me a message and I'd be happy to tell you where. And of course, my online course. So thanks so much again for having me, and hope everyone has a great rest of your day.